Hey, it's Andre, and this is the Avios BushMule. Yeah! First, big apologies for whatever reason that unboxing and building video never up-regs to the HD resolutions. I'm currently uploading a new version for your viewing pleasure. It's just unfortunate that all the comments are already loading into the lower res one, but can't help that. Sometimes YouTube has hiccups. So yes, big thank you to HobbyKing actually, and Steve and Stuart for designing this and modifying and coming up with this new version. So HobbyKing was very nice and sent myself the yellow one, and Chris and Mike in Ohio now have their hands on the blue one. Yellow is faster. Mine got here first. I have to perpetuate that myth that Andre gets all the fast aircraft from HobbyKing, right? We're looking forward to comparing notes because, believe it or not, the boys never flew my SkyMule because of I kept crashing it every time they were near it. So now we're going to be able to actually get together, Chris, Mike, and I, and discuss the Avios BushMule. Steve will come on the podcast and discuss some of the amazing new things coming out from Durafly and Avios, because he is the new brand manager taking over from Stuart. And we're all excited. Myself this weekend, I will get in here, I will put in my receiver and set up the differential, set up those flaps, figure out the cargo door, and just get this airplane ready to go flying. I will have to put the tires onto the SkyMule. Yes, it's still a skis. I know, terrible. It hasn't flown since the winter, since there was snow. But you know, we have snow 6 months of the year, so then we'll get this airplane up in the air so we can compare notes on the next podcast. So there you go. I'm Andre. This is the Avios BushMule. Thanks for watching. Hey, it's Andre, and from Avios, my very first Avios review and unboxing. The BushMule, the highly anticipated replacement from the Durafly SkyMule, which we all know and love. So without further ado, let's get into opening up this box and see what this lovely new creature looks like. Again, the Avios BushMule. Let's play. Woohoo! So some of the specs right there in the front of the box, I'll read them back to you. The BushMule features a 1500 millimeter wingspan, has a length of 1095 millimeters, total weight of 2250 grams, and has two brushless 850 kV outrunner motors and two 30 amp escs featuring reverse, which is going to be very exciting to play with. So inside the box, I got the yellow one. I was really excited about that, be able to make that request, because yellow rocks. So here we go. Time to open some stuff up. Need some scissors. BushMule! I love it. Look at that nice wing. I like the yellow underneath. That's a nice addition. And of course, the BushMule features the center wing section has flaps in it. So that's one of the changes over the previous generation SkyMule, which did not have any flaps. But I didn't really feel it needed it. But I'm gonna enjoy it. They did change how the wing mounting points were, and of course the big thing about the BushMule will be those big gorgeous landing gear. I don't have the floats yet, but they will be coming. And obviously this plane will see a lot of flying in the winter. Now, it is a 4S plane. There's a center wing section. That looks great. Nice big yellow cowls and a better motor setup too. And like I said, 4S. Look at all the wiring in there. I can't wait to dig into that. Let's put this somewhere safe. I don't want to stack this stuff up right away. There we go. Center section. The box seemed to fare fairly well in the transport. Here's your elevator. That looks great. Oh, I love the yellow. I love the color scheme actually already. It's really nice. It stands out. It's enough. I kind of like planes like this, which are primarily white, but they have enough of an accent color that you really can pick them out. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Ah, that is really nice. I'm liking this already. And as I was saying, landing gear. So they're very much like the Tundra style tires. They've got clips on them. so they won't come off. I don't know if it will do skis, but I definitely will be putting it on those floats when I do get them. The one issue for me in floats is I don't have a hatchback, so I'm never quite sure if the thing will fit in my car. Now I know the SkyMule fits in my car just fine. Scissors. Three-bladed props. I will have to obviously pick up spares because you always want spare props for these kind of airplanes. But generally on a nice setup, a tricycle gear setup, you're not doing too much carnage to props. So the FPV Cal, I've never flown the SkyMule in FPV mode before. So I'm going to leave that actually in the box because we don't need that. Winglet kits, which I will put on mine because I think they look cool. That goes on the elevator. Never knows, so if you're doing your FPV. And, oh, it does come with the skis. Nice. So guess what? BushMule will be skiing this winter for sure. So that's great. I'm going to leave that in the box because I'm going to be setting her up for wheels. And then all the other little accessories. It looks like you got some wing sleeves, some caps for the props, and some control surfaces, and wing struts. That was one of the big changes to this whole setup, the way they strengthened everything. And out comes the main fuselage. Whoa! And it's even got a nav light on the top, and that hatch on the bottom. Oh, this thing is going to be so much fun. I'm going to be running an 8-channel receiver in it. Probably one of my FrSky, my bigger FrSky with the telemetry. I don't see a manual, which is probably what they're doing with the new planes, the Durafly, and obviously transferring over to the Avios line, where they've done the manual in an electronic form, which is a great thing. Everything is wired with labels and extensions. And one of the things they have done in here, we'll get in nice and close, is they've moved the steering servo for the nose gear. And they put that to one side. In the old setup, it was a little close to one spot. And then there's the bay door for the rear hatch. That's pretty cool. The side access. Your old FPV access for if you want to put a transmitter on, and they've relocated all the tail servo locations, so they're further out and they're not buried in there with these long linkages. I also suspect the elevator is probably not a the elevator is no longer a dual rod one, which was prone to slipping. I found on my SkyMule, so very cool. Nice little screw base for the elevator. That just slides in nice and cleanly. I like that. I like that change. There you go. Hardware bag. I need that. Wing spar pieces, some control surfaces. That's for the rear. This long one I'm thinking is for the steering. Just nicely stuck in there. Since I won't be running a camera up the nose, I like putting them on the wing. I can stick this guy on. I taped this one in actually on my other airplane. And that's got a very specific spot. I think it goes up. No, rotate. There you go. That stays in. That's a pressure fit. I usually put a little bit of tape in there and it goes on and stays on. So we'll watch that one. Nothing worse than losing that. All right. For the time being, the nose cone go on. Add a little down pressure. There we go. All right. Don't need those right away. Elevator. Sorry. Rudder. Everything's nicely packaged too. That's a nice thing to see. Nothing's gonna get scuffed up or anything. I love the color. Ah, this thing is a really nice looking plane actually. I always like yellow airplanes. That was easy. And the servos, actually all the control surfaces already have a lot of their linked holes marked. So that's actually really handy. So now I have to see, I think this longer one looks like it goes to the elevator, or say the rudder. I didn't get that terminology all wrong. It's been a long day. So I'm just going to link these in. I will do all the servo connections and everything after the fact. And I obviously have to download the manual to verify the locations of all these parts and pieces. So for now, it is simply going. Nice snap clips. I will get some fuel hose, obviously, to do all the clip pieces. That way you're guaranteed that they stay in. So that one is not through, but it will be. Come on. And then this one, maybe it goes the other way then. Could be. All right, some screws. I need 2 sets of screws for the tail section, and that's pretty obvious. Oh, there's some beefy screws for that wing. Wow, that's impressive to see. There's a wing screw. That's beefy. That's nice. Okay, and these ones are your screws for the tail section. So we'll put those in right now. I just need 2 driver, a nice screwdriver. Black handle, perfect. We'll put that in and we'll keep going. Look at that. Nice. So this goes into a really nice spot. Gray is actually a really nice color too. I always said if I had to redo the SkyMule, I was going to go with like a tactical gray color, which would make it terrible to track in the sky, but would look phenomenal. One of the most amazing things I like to do with the SkyMule is bring it in like it's coming in on like some kind of carrier or just slow approach. And you know, you're crabbing along in the wind and you're just throwing in a little bit of rudder control just to steer it. It just looks so incredible. So I like this gray. And they put tape along all the seams, which is kind of neat. My SkyMule was a kit. So I built it up and I used different power spec and everything. So it's going to be kind of neat to see how this thing performs under 4S and the different kind of batteries. It's got a wide envelope for batteries. I'll probably start off with my 4S22s and then see if I can get some 3000s or something, or some 4000s, just to keep the flying time up. Because on 3S4000, my SkyMule will stay in the air for a fairly lengthy period of time, which is always a nice time flying. All right, this guy, put the elevator control horn in. And I wonder if these are different lengths though. And survey says yes. So this is my elevator. Just a tiny bit short. And this puts it out a little too long. Fascinating. So it's got to be the other guy. Of course, you know, I haven't centered any of these servos or nothing, so I'm making a lot of assumptions right now as far as this stuff goes. And I will re-zero this after. The idea right now is just to get the assembly process done so we can have a look at this beautiful airplane. So I'm going to use this longer one and hook that through for my rudder control. Nope, sorry. Rudder control is the super long one. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right, put that in, lock that down. Good enough for show. And I'm going to assume this third one is for the steering. That's part of the steering linkage. All right. So let's do the landing gear. So these are the slats that go in on the on your wing surface. So I'm like, that may have to go in, especially when you put the floats on. Apparently, it's supposed to help the steering when the floats are on. So that may have to go on and get glued on just for the looks of it, because it'll be pretty sweet. All right, well, let's do the landing gear. Landing struts. All right, main gear. Looks like they go this way. And that hooks underneath. So again, we'll flip this thing over for a minute. Look at that. And very similar to the Tundra. And that just hooks in, and then it's 4 screws, which are here. And there's the front gear install. Basically, you run your control link through, you have an arm that joins in, which you can tighten down if you turn through the nose, but you've got to be able to get those linkages in still. It's not too bad. It actually looks really nice in there. Well labeled, well thought out, nice big pad to stick your battery down to, and it's actually got a bit of tack to it. There's a bit of foam to it, so that's nice. I'm actually going to throw a battery in there so the nose stays planted, and wow, look at that. I'm going to throw the cover on, and I've got a couple screws left. There's the big wing screws, the struts, the nose, which I will probably apply some tape like I mentioned before just to lock it in place. All right, so let's put those wing center on. Don't need the props right now. Don't need those winglets. The centerpiece, look at that. Nice wiring harness, very cleanly done. Again, 30 amp ESCs with some 850 kV motors. That's really well. Oh, look at that. Flaps and everything. Oh, really nicely done. It's clean. So you've got your Aileron Controls. You've got your single XT60. You've got your lamps. You've got a light, which I'm going to assume is 5 volt. You've got your flaps, which is twin wired. You've got your reverse control. So you are going to need a pretty big receiver, so at least an 8-channel. And it looks like the throttle is set up for a single. I'm going to assume there's a Y harness in there. So you can't really set up for differential unless you go in there and start rewiring. But that's something we can come back to in the future. Ailerons, throttle 1, throttle 2. No, I take that back. There are 2 throttle controls, and I'm going to say one is probably, well, maybe they are doing both and powered ESC. So who knows? Either way, I'll be plugging them in to find out, because, oh, that is impressive. That is very well done, very impressive to see. All your stuff is in there. It looks gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to put these guys down. I'm going to run that through. And same setup as the SkyMule with the front forward mounting points. And if I open up the hatch, you can see all the wiring coming through. Drop that down and in, and snug that in. Make sure nothing is impacting. And here's the other screw I was looking for. Are we clearing? I think we are. No wires are in the way. Nothing is getting hung up. That goes down. Nice. Okay. big screws. Look at those things. I guess the nice thing is you can take the wing off. They've gone with screws for the wings, which is nice. I might have actually put the wrong screws in, but I don't think so. I'll have to look. But they're definitely nice, solid aircraft. And I never took the wings off the SkyMule. I always just left them on. I just felt it was easier to deal with it that way, less damage. But the SkyMule had the tabs, so they've done away with the tabs for this. But you do have the multiple ports. The flaps, the ailerons. There must be lights on the end, that's what it is. There's a lighting grid on the whole back end of it, so. So they got lights on the wingtips, which will look fantastic. That was one of the first mods I did on my SkyMule. I cut in some lights and it looked beautiful. It's a big plane. It's catching everything. There we go. Pop down into place. A little bit more screwing down with this. That looks nice and set. The screwdriver is like falling apart here. Great. Oh. Whoo. That's looking nice. That's looking like a mean airplane. Oh, and the flaps are going to make it so much fun. Okay. Wing time. Here we go. Put those aside for now. Scissors. Avios! Look at that. Oh, it's got nav lights, it's got wing lights, it's got landing lights. Oh, this is nice. And clearly marked, you know which is your aileron control and what is your lights. Let me turn this way so you see what I'm doing. Not a very gracious host. All right, aileron control. And then your lights, which go in only one way. Cool. And then there's these guys. Now, where are those tabs? Do they have an up angle or do they sit straight? They have an up angle. Look at that. So that's something to note. So they do bend upwards. So let's make this goes up. And it only slips so far. Oh, nice. So the winglets, if you're looking, have little tabs as well. So that's pretty cool. And they just slide right into their homes. I'm just working this really slowly, being the first time I've put this stuff together. There you go, nice and easy. Slide your wing, your controls in, nice and easy. And we're almost there. Woo! Oh, prop the screw. Oh, I see what's wrong. I got my aileron controls had dipped down and was sticking out. So you want to get in from underneath and twist these bad boys around a little bit, I think. There you go. Once you make your connections, I think it's better off just to try and force them right into that hole. Put your finger underneath, take up any of the slack, and just kind of guide them in. All right, that looks like it's going to go a little better. Oh yeah, it's going a lot better. My hand on this side, and then very easily rock the wings into position. And there we go. Nice. All right, we'll grab a screw. Where did I put this? There they are. Number one. And not happy with that yet. There you go. Much cleaner. Oh yeah, that's much better. Nice. Drop in some screws. Drop in, don't drop. Oh, look at this airplane coming together. Nice. Okay, another screw. Woohoo! Oh, BushMule! Oh, I'm in love with this airplane already. This is nice. Let's put some of that wiring inside. Close up that hatch. We can do, we'll do the struts afterwards. So the second wing. I love the yellow. I love the beacon lights. I love the landing lights. This is going to be a proper flying airplane, man. Oh, okay. We'll do it from this point of view this time. So, whoops. Okay, so little tabs, little notch tabs, which are pretty neat. Square and circle, and obviously a little aluminum spar piece, but that's pretty hefty feeling. It feels nice. It only goes in so far. Little wheel brake here. There, that'll stop that. So servo connector, light connector, and you just very cleanly inch them in. So. All right, servo connector, flip that over. Pretty easy, but I think it's one of those airplanes which I'll leave assembled versus taking apart every time, just for the sake of minimizing the damage. I probably would take it apart on a long road trip, I guess. But I've driven with the Tundra fully assembled as well, so all depends on what you're taking with you, I guess. But wow, this thing is going to have some presence in the sky. All right, really easily use the upwards angle to your advantage on that spar piece, and just very gently coats the connections in place. I like this molded assembly for the cowl, for the engine nacelles. Ah, oh, that is so nice to see. The other one worked, but I mean, on a couple good crashes, I completely blew everything off the airplane. Just work that in really gently. I'm just looking for spots I can apply pressure without, you know, wrinkling the foam or anything like that, especially on a brand new airplane. And just get underneath and just, oh, see, I can tell I'm hung up just a tiny bit to the right. There you go. And if you shove those in, now it's like they need to be sitting down. Oh, I can see it's the aileron had a lot of excess wire just sitting right in the way. All right, see if that inches in. You really just got to be patient, play around with this stuff until you pour it in, and it should all push in nice and cleanly. Sometimes you just have to lay it upside down. Wow! Knew that was going to happen. The battery wasn't strapped down. Clear everything out of the way so we don't mark anything up. And we try and encourage the stuff to go in nicely. Actually, what I'm learning here is that if you look underneath it into the nacelle, you can actually see if you're binding up or if anything's looping over, because you can see past the ESC. So I can see like a bit of a snag of wire going through there. So I just get in there with the screwdriver and pluck it out, and that will cure that issue. There we go. We're almost in nice and clean now. Again, lift it up because you got a downward angle, and just very gently coats it all into place. I think that worked a lot better. Yep, there we go. That's in. That looks nice and healthy. That's matching up nice. Okay, flip it over. Drop it down. Look at that. Woohoo! All right, definitely got to get this guy in there. I'll probably drop some Velcro in there as well to help that battery stay on top of the strap. There is a nice strap in there. Those wheels are so nice. Oh, this thing is going to like track forever. You're going to need like braking zone. Oh, I can't wait to fly this. It's going to be a busy weekend with a bunch of reviews, I think. And then the back screw. Oh. Okay, almost done. Almost done the Avios BushMule. I keep dropping all the last pieces, but the wing struts, which I really like, I thought they would have been screwed in, but they just used some clips, which is super sensible. So you can get them off quickly and easily. This thing looks impressive. I can't wait to put the props on. I'm not going to bother doing any of the receiver setup on this video. We'll get to that, but maybe I'll throw some power in there and light it up. And that's to that. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is so simple. Let's see, is there a particular way they go? I may mark them for future references, but a little bit of load, and ta-da, and then 2 clips. That's really sensibly done. That is well thought out of, actually. Slide the clip through. You'll see it on the other side. I'm doing this video terribly, not showing you. But that one goes in. And then slide through. There you go, locked. All right, number 2. A little bit down on there, and then lift it up. A little bit of pressure on top, and then 2 pins. Where's the second one? There it is. Bottom one and top one. They're a little difficult to get in, I think, but I like this touch. This is, oh, that makes it beefy. I mean, it's got suspension springing, it's got clearance. This thing is going to be able to fly and drive off anything. All right, props. Obviously, going to be counter-rotating. And I will pick up a few spares. I might actually keep this bad boy running on the triple blades because I don't have many triple blade propped airplanes. So right, left, marked, so that's good. Right wing, and it's got a it's a double nut. And I'm going to look at that cap. It looks like that cap just sort of screws on. So it looks like the nut comes off the shaft, slide it into your prop because this doesn't seem to line up, and spin this guy on. That doesn't look half bad. Squeeze that in. And it just sits there nicely. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, goodness. Let's see if I can get some lights going. I got a UBEC package here. I bet I could fire in and just put a receiver in or something. And there you go, the Avios BushMule. What a fantastic way to celebrate this line. 1500 millimeters of sport flying fun, and some really well-pointed upgrades over the SkyMule. That landing gear, that cargo bay is going to be a hoot, some nav lights and everything, updated elevator configuration, 4S, and of course, reversing ESCs, which I can't wait to try out, especially when the floats come in. This airplane looks fantastic. I'm really excited to go flying with it. Thank you for HobbyKing for sending it out for review. We're going to have some serious fun.